Okay, I'm going to do a quick clip that I'm going to put at the beginning of each shadow work for each sign because I don't want to have to repeat the purpose of the reading. So I'm going to share the dream that my daughter had that made me want to share shadow work with people. I started back in December, but I stopped. So my daughter had a dream that she was in a field. She's an Aquarius. She's 13. She was in a field. There were a whole lot of creatures, small creatures. They were stuck where they were, and they were begging her to feed them. So the names of the creatures that she remembered were sloth, envy, and pride. She didn't remember the other names of other creatures, but she knew there were other ones. So they were asking her to go pick the berries off the trees and bring them back and feed them to them, because they couldn't move and they were hungry. So she went and did it. She did it. She kept doing it. The more she did it, the more they grew. And then eventually her dream ended with her running away from them so they could move. She actually gave them the power to move. I explained it all to her, explained to her all the deadly sins, because from what she named, I'm guessing the rest of them were named after the deadly sins, because the three that she remembered were deadly sins. So whether you believe in the Bible or not, whether you know the history of the Bible or not, there's still some truths in it. You just have to, break it down, which I'm not about to do here. I feel like my channel is for people who like to search for the truth, not people who like to be spoon fed every little thing. But she said, as I explained to her, pretty much, they need you to feed them. So if you're not aware of what you're feeding, then you're gonna do it unknowingly or just because you feel the urge to. Like she said, they were hungry and asking her to feed them, and then their goal was to destroy her at the end of the dream. So hopefully that makes sense for the people who get it. And I'm just going to get into the shadow work now. So Aries, I'm about to do y'all shadow work reading. So the point of the reading is pretty much to confront negative patterns, toxic influences, and shit that only you can change or fix in your life. This is a no toxic positivity zone. That's what my channel has always been. So I feel like you'll know if this reading is for you. You'll know if it's not for you. If it's not, you can just exit quietly. I've been so pressed to do Aries readings because I'm just now finding out that I am an Aries rising, because the person I let do my chart years ago told me I was a Libra rising. I did my own chart with my actual birth time, birthplace, and found out I'm an Aries rising. So the card that came out of this deck is I won't cry for you. So you may be lacking empathy when it comes to a person or people in general. It's saying to me very much like Cry Me a River, the picture. I've never read the song for this. I've never read the message from the book for this card, but that's what I'm getting from it so far. But I'm going to pull from the tarot to pretty much look at how you're feeding your demon or demons. But it looks like it's like a lack of empathy that you have, or maybe taking delight in somebody else's pain, or if it's not a lack of empathy. So let's see. Okay, 7 cards for Aries. The 9 of Wands actually came out. Fortitude. The 6 of Wands. A competitive spirit. 6 of Wands, 6 of Cups, Ace of Cups, the Tower, and the Prince of Wands. The 5 of Wands is at the bottom. So, yep, I said competitive spirit. This is literally about competition, or you feeling pulled in too many different directions, or you feeding into some type of drama, conflict. So the 9 of Wands is coming out of Sagittarius energy, and maybe a Sagittarius involved, or Scorpio, or Leo, or it may just be about you, because it is about your patterns. But what the 9 of Wands is telling me is that you kind of like add to a person's or people's woundings. Because I don't know if you're coming off too strong or too abrasive, because this fortitude is showing how you're adding to a person's pain. It's the strength card. So I feel like you may unknowingly or knowingly kick a person or people when they're down. So, or take the light when it's serious things or a thing that a person is going through, kind of like, oh well, deal with it, or kicking a person when they're down. You're feeding it by, it's like a high horse energy. Feeling like, okay, it's not affecting you, so fuck it. If that's not the case and it's something that you went through before, you might be insensitive to another person going through it, because it's like, okay, I overcame it, so get the fuck over it. Not thinking about the fact that people deal with their wounding in their past and their issues differently with the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands makes me feel like a stubborn energy, like unwilling to change or unwilling to look at what you did wrong or do wrong in a situation. So the Six of Cups for me, it's kind of telling you to look at in the past, like patterns, or in relationships. Yeah, in relationships, it could be love relationships or from your childhood on up, how you have been insensitive to other people's issues, problems, pain in general, or took pleasure in it. It even says Lord of Pleasure here. So pretty much is saying you don't have to tear somebody else down in order for you to feel good. I know I'm getting hella dislikes on here, but I don't care, because I'm for the truth. And this is true for a group of Aries. I'm not saying this for all Aries, but I already went over that. So how it feels to others, it makes other people feel like you don't have love in your heart. Or that it makes other people look at you as though like you need love in your life. Like, really? That's how I'm making people feel. This card says the Lord of the root of the powers of water. So I feel like it makes someone or people feel like you don't know how to love, or you don't appreciate love. Yeah, that's what I think it is. I'm not going to clarify. Or you take love for granted. The Tower is here representing the root cause. So it's kind of like you want to win by any means necessary in situations. The Tower is ruled by Mars. It represents like chaos and destruction. So it's kind of like a before I lose, I'll fuck this whole thing up. So you may have a like temper problem as well. It's like definitely a hurt people type of energy. And the Hangman is in reverse, so it tells me that you don't take the time to think about how your actions might affect you or others before you react most of the time, if this is for you. The Princess of Wands energy is here. Let me clarify this. It's definitely telling you to take a more playful approach when it comes to life and in relationships. Yep, the Lovers is here. So definitely about giving the love you would like to receive. It says children of the voice divine. So really looking at what you are contributing to the world or to your relationships in general, and how you can be more of a lighthearted or playful addition to people's life, as opposed to wanting to one-up people all the time, or considering what other people may be going through before you take the light and feeling like you're better than them, or saying something that makes them feel like being insensitive in general. The Four of Wands is here, which is more about balance. Lord of perfected work. So it's telling me you have a lot of power to add to situations in a positive way or a negative way with the lovers. The lovers and the four wands. The lovers can represent a choice. So it's telling you before you give messages, that could represent text messages or in general, the things that you say before you open your mouth. Think about what path you're taking, because with the lovers, it's two paths. You either are acting based on love or you're acting based on fear. So think about where you're coming from before you give messages. Hopefully that makes sense. The Four of Wands just has Aries, symbol for Aries right here. So it's the Aries card. I feel like it's telling you that it all comes back around to you regardless. So be careful. Why is the Four of Wands here? The Knight of Wands. So it's a card of being irresponsible. Being irresponsible or careless when it comes to your influence. But not knowing or not seeing exactly how that comes right back to you in your life. And it's telling you to take a look at that with the Seven of Pentacles. It's like fruitless energy. Not saying that you're not going to make money, but it's pretty much saying like energetically it all comes back to you. So maybe people being insensitive to what you're going through, people not being supportive of you, and you really wanting that or longing for that, but not looking at how you could have been that for other people, but you kind of took on this oh well, or not my problem, or kicking a person or people while they're down type of energy. So let me pause it, and then I'm going to read the message for I Won't Cry For You. Okay, that's number 22. If we were going to put this in the deadly sins category, I would look at this as wrath. I said raft. What the fuck? Wrath. Let's see. Number 22. Could also be greed. But it's, in general, just a lack of empathy. If you don't, like, we don't have to make it biblical. But I was just doing that, whatever. Sometimes when it's over, closure must be created, not just found. With her back in the light of the moon, a beautiful woman with deep... Let me show y'all the picture because they're about to describe it. With her back to the light of the moon, a beautiful woman with deep blue eyes sheds dry tears of blood. She holds in her hand a drop-shaped vial full of blood as well, and she gestures forward as if offering it, okay? If I gave you my last gift, I shed my last tear for you. It is time not to let you be free, but to let myself free. So sharing your pain, like giving, like I said, hurt people, but it says breaking up can only be done by two persons. One will do it earlier maybe, but sooner or later the other will follow. One can afford to do it with words and actions. The other probably will only be able to do it inside her own heart. It's painful, it's definite, it's hard, it's sometimes necessary. Breaking up is not just letting go of a person. You are letting go of a part of yourself, of hopes and dreams and trust. You let go of feelings and memories. You can let go of the emptiness you felt and the connection you relied on. Anger might help in the beginning, but the last part of the road can't be done by just anger. Closure comes when you dry up your tears. It is a gorgeous moment when you allow yourself to frankly don't give a damn about it. All that was past is not a credit or a debt. It is suddenly no more than a gift. You can raise your chin. After all, tomorrow is another day. So it's carrying pain along with you and spreading it out to a person or people around you. Pretty much. So, I feel like I'm not done. I'm going to pull from another deck for Aries. Let's see. This is my favorite oracle deck right now, so we're going to go here. No. I'm going to use the Sacred Rebel deck. Okay. Was y'all spread out, right? Like, I'll take that one. It says, beyond the mind, the heart beats. Number 21. In the chaos of modern life and the constant fluctuations of our mind, it can be difficult to remember that a sublime sanctuary lies within, yet it is always there beneath the ceaseless activity. There is an endless, vast spaciousness that restores and connects us to something greater, something that exists outside of time. Some might call it eternity. Within that sanctuary, sacred sound is felt rather than heard. That sacred sound is actually the reverberating heartbeat of the entire universe. Your own heart's rhythm sound within the greater universal heartbeat. The totality of life, all of your being, can be felt at once through listening to it and feeling for the sacred sound of the heart beating within you. It is through this heartbeat that we can experience a love that is more than preference or attachment. This is the love that inspires, energizes, moves us to create. Your love for life, the need to feel alive and express yourself in the quest for that which is truly fulfilling. These are the sacred urges of the rebel against fear and promote passion for being alive. This oracle has a message for you. There is a way of the mind which can make mountains out of molehills, even when it thinks it is turning molehills. No, ma'am. Let's start over. There is a way of the mind which can make mountains out of molehills, even when it thinks it's turning mountains into molehills. Then there is a way of the heart. It is subterranean and moves subtly beneath possible obstacles, intelligently shifting with exquisite sensitivity, sensing the way forward through dangerous pathways and responding to what is before it even occurs in the physical world, okay? However, with the heart's intelligence, we cannot see and know in the same way that we do when we allow the mind to direct us. We have to be open to another way if we want to benefit from the innate intelligence of the heart, okay? This oracle comes with guidance for you. Deep within you, you know what to do and you know what is true. It matters not whether the mind and its plan seem to agree with your inner senses. Your willingness to trust your heart and to rebel against fear will serve you well. Let your heart lead you. Be sure of your faith and trust in what you feel. Your head and heart have been in conflict at times over the course of life. This has brought you struggle and sometimes deep suffering. However, this oracle brings you the message that a truce will soon be declared and the appropriate outcome of the mind waving the white flag of surrender is imminent. Soon, if not already, you will finally be feeling that your heart is leading you, okay? You will feel that your mind is learning to follow the guidance of your heart rather than trying to be out front, seeing and sorting everything out in advance in order to be safe. Okay. So, hopefully y'all enjoyed, well, maybe not. Well, hopefully y'all got something from this reading. Thanks for watching. Peace.